that bring a lot of hunger and competitiveness and energy, enthusiasm, and offer us a bright future for sure. We've got 40 juniors and seniors that bring a lot of experience, that really know and understand what it takes. They got a very clear vision, and we're counting on those guys to help lead the way. But it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, our roster's kind of different than it was last year when we had such an experienced group, but ready to get to work. And again, we're going to play in 27 days, so today's just day one, and we got to make the most of it. Injury-wise, we're in a good spot as a team. Y'all pretty much know about everybody. The only guy that I think is the new guy is Logan Cash, and I think I talked about that not too long ago at our ACC stuff. But Logan's got to have some back surgery, so he's going to be out for a while. I think it's scheduled next week, and then Brighton is still working back. You know, he'll be a part of camp and kind of in the rehab process. And then Mari is continuing to really do well. He looks great, and he's still in his progression, recovering from his injury. So other than that, we're in a good spot as far as where we're starting. You know, and excited to get out on the field. Davis Allen is nothing serious, but he might be limited here first few days with a sore ankle. So get him up and rolling here pretty soon. But we're in a good spot. And then just a couple new people. Really, pretty much all of our staff's back, and really nothing has changed since the last time we talked. Other than we've got Travis Blanks is now coming into football full time, and he's been working for IPTAY and doing some development stuff, and he is going to head up all of our former player engagement. I felt like that was an area that kind of just another area that we could really make a difference for our players and our former players in particular. So Travis is going to head that up. We're excited to have him back in this building, and then Maddie Williams is a creative media person that's come on board with us, and Nikki Lyons is working in our nutrition operations area. So we've got just a few new people, but other than that, all hands on deck from last year. And excited to get started today.
Dabo, I know you're here to address the players I know that are on the current roster. You've talked about Feaster leaving, but just any reaction to the news that's come out that he's going to wind up across the state?
Yeah, well, first of all, it's a fair question. It just happened, so definitely a fair question, something I need to address, but it'll be the last time I address it because it's all about our team. It's all about these guys here, not people who aren't here. But what I would say is, and I think it's important that people understand, Tavian earned the right to do that. You know, I mean, am I glad he went to the rival, or I'm not glad that he's not here? I mean, the only thing I'm disappointed in is he's not here, because he definitely was a valuable member of our team. He could have helped this football team, but having said that, he is a great young man. Great family, not one problem with that guy. Did everything that was asked of him. He's leaving here as I think he's got the second biggest yards per carry in school history. He was a very productive player for us. He battled some injuries here and there, but had some big moments and was a big part of our team for the last 3 years. But more importantly, he graduated from Clemson. And, so to me, everything should be tied to education. And that young man not only came in here and was a great teammate, was a selfless person, worked his butt off to get better, was a joy to be around. And, but at the end of the day, he graduated. And if he felt like that he needed a better opportunity, than what maybe he had here playing wise, then he earned that opportunity. It doesn't mean I have to like it, but to me, when you come to college and you graduate, that's what it's all about. If a guy comes in here and graduates in 2.5 years, he's earned that right, and because that's what it's all about to me, is finishing. So, I wish him all the best. All but one of them for sure. And it's a little different. I mean, but whether he's going to your rival or going to somebody else on your schedule, that's kind of where we are in college football now. You're going to see that more and more. But again, if a guy graduates, I think that they've earned the opportunity to do what they want to do. And at the end of the day, though, he's a young man I care about, a young man I respect, a young man I love, always will. Valuable member of our team while he was here. And, you know, he's moved on to a different situation for himself, and there was nothing negative about it in our conversation, just what he felt like he needed to do. And doesn't mean I agree with it, but again, that's his decision. So we certainly wish him well. And again, he was a model student athlete for us, any issues at all. And you know, he's a great player, and wish him all the best.
Dabo, you talk every year about turning the page. Whatever happened last year doesn't matter this year. Yet you have a bunch of guys who never lost a game in college football. Are there going to be some reminders that, hey, what happened last year doesn't really mean that much in this camp that we're getting set to go through?
Yeah, well, always. And we got a bunch of guys on this team that have never won a game too. So it kind of balances itself out. But yes, and that's just what we do. That's just a part of our culture here. And that's why we've been so consistent. You know, somebody asked me at the media days, you know, like, oh man, how y'all going to handle it now? Y'all are the hunted or whatever. I'm like, well, it's just kind of business as usual. You know, I mean, we've had 8, 10+ win seasons in a row. You know, I mean, we've been every time we show up to play, that other team wants to beat us, and that's not anything new this year. And so for us, we have a process that we believe in, that we go through every year, and it doesn't start now. This started back in January. We're just entering a new phase of our journey for this team, this 2019 team. But absolutely, that's stuff we talk about all the time. And again, our program has won 15 in a row. People won't talk about streaks. This team ain't won one. They ain't won a game. Hadn't played a game, hadn't won a game. So, you know, there is no carryover. But I think the best part of our program has been the buy-in to that year after year after year after year, and it's allowed us to be very consistent and be one of the more consistent teams in the country. So we start over. We don't assume anything. We've got to be unbelievable teachers this year. I do think we've recruited well, but we've got to connect, we've got to teach, and we've got to develop well. You know, this team, it's our job to meet them. We got a lot of guys that got a long way to go. You know, last year's team, I could walk out of my office and walk right next door and meet them right there. That's where they were, you know, with that team, right out of the gate. This team, you know, I got to walk out of my office and I got to walk all the way to the indoor facility. You know, we got to meet them where they are. And so there's a different gap from a coaching and a teaching standpoint. So we've got to do an unbelievable job as a staff in getting this group together. You know, the challenge is the same. You know, you've got to have that change and that character. But this team, I think the biggest thing is, can we develop the chemistry? You know, that's kind of the next part of it. In camp, in this phase, is really kind of where all that comes together. So, you know, because again, there's we have 29 signees that came in here, and you know, 10 or 11 new walk-ons. So there's a bunch of new people that are just getting here. So we've taken a lot of time the last couple of days in really being thorough and detailed and articulating our program and who we are. And we didn't talk anything about football. Today's the first day where we're actually getting football. But it just felt like it was very important that we kind of set the tone. And so it's been good, and you know, excited to get out there and start the process.
Dabo, what aspect of the game do you think takes the longest to come back for players during fall camp?
Just the, you know, you put the pads on for the first time. You hadn't had any pads on since spring, you know, because we don't get to have the OTAs or whatever. So, you know, it's a longer gap since you've put your, you know, some of those guys will put them on and go out there and do some stuff in the summertime, but nobody's banging on each other. So that's probably the biggest thing, is just kind of working through the soreness and kind of getting your callousness built back up into your body because you really hadn't had any collisions since the spring. That's the biggest thing. From a mental standpoint, they really should be the furthest ahead that they've been all year. Because when we start over in January, it's quality control, it's self-evaluation, it's learning from your season, it's all applying all the lessons from that, and then you're going through all your installation all over again for spring, and then it's post-spring, and then you go through all the installation again in the summer, and they're doing it at a slower pace on their own with film study, but they have their skills and drills all tied together with it. And, so from a mental standpoint, they should all be further along at this point from where they were when we started in the spring. So really the physical part, kind of getting that part caught back up.
Yeah, but with the weigh-in, were there any guys you were really happy with where they came in, or any guys that you were also disappointed with?
Man, I was happy with the team, to be honest with you. I really wasn't disappointed with anybody, but really happy. Our team is lean, we're strong. I really liked how we trained this summer. I thought Joey and the guys did an awesome job, kind of had a really good plan for this team. Again, every team is different. And we had to kind of, same thing, they had to kind of go meet this team where they were with 80 freshmen and sophomores out of 120 and train them a certain way this summer. And I thought it was great, but I think the guys bought in, they worked hard, and especially the last couple of weeks, you could just kind of see them taking another step and just, you can even hear it. So I'm excited to kind of get out there and take this next step with them. But, we had a bunch of guys that looked great. I mean, Jackson Carmen put the work in. I mean, he's never going to be a skinny dude, but he looks a lot better than 360. That's for sure. And it's not just his weight, and that's where sometimes people look at the weight and they go, it's composition of the weight. We want a good composition. That's what we're after. And some guys need to lean up. Some guys can hold more and still have a good composition. But I really felt like our team has put the work into this point, and we're in a good spot. And it's fun too to see guys like T. Higgins. I mean, T was 178 pounds when he got here, coming out of high school, and I believe he was 217 maybe. I'd go check that. 215, 217, and that's an amazing amount of work that's been put in. That's one of the reasons we do that, because it's like you see like Sheridan Jones. Sheridan got here in January, 160 pounds, and he's like 180 something. He's put on 20 something, but that just shows you the work and the buy-in, the nutrition, and we have a program that works for those guys if they will really follow what Joey's asked them to do and eat right, hydrate properly, get the proper sleep, and understand and buy into what you have to do to build your body the proper way. And so I was really excited about a lot of those guys. I mean, just Sean Pollard, he's playing center, so he dropped a little weight. He leaned up his composition. He's one of those guys that he can be from 300 to 325 with 2 or 3 meals. And some guys were just that way. But he's really in a good place. So I just think our team is. Niles looks great. He has really worked hard. He's had his best summer ever. He's done a great job with his body and his composition. Jordan did the same thing. Excited to see them out there. Obviously, they weren't out there this spring, so can't wait to get out there with them today. And but all those guys, man, those receivers look great. Running backs, I thought looked great. Trevor was 220. He fought for that 20. He was, because it wasn't quite settled in. They were about to say 219, and then it kind of clicked 220. So he was really, really happy about that. I thought J.C. Chalk, he's another guy that I think got serious this summer. He's really accepted the challenge, and he was in that 258 range, and he was one of those guys that needed to kind of change his composition a little bit, and he did that. He's gotten strong. So excited about where we are. I think we're in shape. Fixing to get out there and challenge him a little bit.
Coach, with Kyler gone, does that just mean the snaps for DK at wide receiver will be even fewer, and how much of an opportunity does that open the door for the young guys like Sheridan Young?
Yeah, we'll probably start that way as far as really just kind of get him to build a great foundation there at corner, and you know, it might be something that we kind of work on a package or something later on. But right now, we just want to get a good installation. He didn't, you know, we just kind of threw him over there. You know, it's not like he was in meetings or anything like. I mean, literally threw him over there in practice. So he needs to really get a good, solid foundation. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands, but we're blessed and fortunate that we got some really good guys at receiver that we feel great about. So, but somewhere down the line, hopefully we'll maybe have a little package. Obviously, he's played quarterback, and you know, package we worked on all last year. You know, might be something that we dabble with later on when we get deep into our install and stuff like that. But we want him to get off to a good start. Opportunities there for Sheridan, and Mario's another guy that I think has really gotten it together this summer. He's really worked his butt off. His body's in a great spot. That kid can play. It's just a matter of him mentally taking that next step and making up his mind. And I really see the right look in his eye. And then Andrew just got here, so we'll see where all them guys are. But we got a good group.
But what will be the signs that you start to see some of the chemistry forming that you mentioned there in these early days of camps, and some of the traits exhibited by some of your best teams? What will you look out for to point out that this group maybe has it like that?
Yeah, well, that's one of those things that's probably hard to define. You know, but you know it when you see it, and you know it when you don't. So this is my 30th team in college football, and you can just smell it. So when that time comes, what specifically happens, I don't really know. I just know it when I see it.
Coach, what's the expectations for a guy like Greg Williams, in-state guy coming in? In fact, you know, what are you looking at him as far as making an impact on the defensive line? That, you know, you guys lost a lot of talent. Of course, you know, you guys are reloading with your recruiting class and things of that nature. What are you asking for guys that are asking out of guys like Greg Williams? Yeah,
I'm not asking anything. I'm just asking them to come in here and go to work, plug in, buy in, get in line, pay attention, and bring great attitude, great energy every day, and work every day to be the best that they can be and get better. You know, try to get better each day. That's all I'm asking. He's here because we think he's a great football player. And, you know, these guys all these freshmen just getting here. None of them are great college players. We'll see. You know, we've had a chance to see a few from the spring, evaluate, but we've got several guys that came in here this summer that we haven't been on the field with one day. I don't put any expectations on any of those guys. If they prove something and they earn something and they demonstrate that they mentally, physically, you know, maturity, all that stuff, that they're ready, then hey, they'll be ready to play, because they're certainly going to get the opportunity, because we're going to give everybody the opportunity to go compete. But I guess my one expectation is that you know, he develop into a great player and a great young man, because that's what we brought him here to do, and that's what he came here to do, and he's got all the potential in the world.
Dabo, with Christian and Dexter gone, are defensive guys knocking on your door about the Jumbo package, or is that?
Oh yeah.
Is that
yeah,
something
yeah,
we're
yeah.
not going to see very much?
Oh no, they all line up for that. So I don't know. I got a few thoughts. You know, that kind of became my own little package. It was my little baby last year, and I had a lot of fun with that. But I've got to evaluate. You know, I got a few ideas. So we'll see.
With Jordan and Niles, just where are they mentally and physically, and how do you feel about them?
They're in a great spot. They really have worked very, very hard. You know, obviously we had a good plan for them in the spring, and what I'm they put the great work in themselves, and they're physically in a good place. But what I'm most proud of is they've tried to lead. You know, they've been led since they've been here, and they, I think, really kind of hit them between the eyes when they got out there in the off season, and they're looking around and they're going, "Oh my Lord!" You know, I mean, I'm the only one that knows anything here. So it's been pretty cool to see that transition in them and to see them step up and take that role. I'm so thankful for Dexter and Christian and Huggy and Austin and all those guys, Clee, because they set a great example on how to work, and they really did. And so those guys they passed it down, and Jordan and Niles are taking the reins, and they're going to do a great job. But the other thing I'm thankful for is we got some of those young guys. Some of them don't have to be led. You don't have to be a veteran player to be a leader, to have great effort, to be relentless. And we've got a few of those young guys that, ain't nobody got to lead them. They're ready to go do it. And so I'm excited because a lot of them are going to get the opportunity, and it's going to be incredibly competitive and fun to evaluate.
You have a tight end.
Davis Allen showed up here in summer. What's Davis looking like right now?
Yeah, he looks great. He is really a great looking prospect. I mean, he's got length. He's got good size now and great size potential and strength potential. He's a really good athlete. He was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I mean, he's an excellent prospect for us, and just an awesome kid. He's eager, so he's, as I said, he's going to be limited for a few days because he rolled his ankle in skills and drills a couple weeks ago. So he's still kind of a little tender on that, working his way back. But he'll be up and running soon. But he's a guy that we're really anxious to find out. When they cut him loose, like, okay, where is he? We gotta mentally get him where he needs to be, and then as soon as he can physically go, get him up to speed. So it's a guy that's I don't see it any way possible that he's not going to have to help us, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. But I really think he's going to be an outstanding guy for us, as is Jalen. Jalen was 270 pounds or whatever. I mean, he is one of the freakiest looking dudes you'll ever see. I mean, this guy is a high school senior, basically. Obviously came in and went through the spring. I'm anxious to see where he is, because he was way behind mentally in the spring. Just a lot to learn, and but he's worked really hard. Another great kid, great potential, but same thing, as I said, we got to kind of meet them where they are and go from there. But got all the tools, that's for sure. But excited to see where Davis is, because I haven't really had a chance to get on the field with him.
Yeah, but what's Jalen's composition, as you said?
Good. Yeah, he's good. I mean, he's just kind of a freaky guy, man. He's a big, strong, put together guy, and still got a little work to do with his composition. I mean, he's not bad, but as he continues to get a little stronger, he's not going to ever be a skinny guy. He is a big, long athlete that's pretty muscled up for a guy his age, but still young and still maturing into what he's going to be. But he's going to be a big man.
Coach, what's your sense on how the Herb Street boys are fitting in so far, and is it perhaps tougher for them coming in with the name recognition with their teammates?
They've been great. They've been awesome. I think they've enjoyed every second of it. They're good teammates. I think the team has embraced them just like anybody else. I'm sure that it is probably a challenge for them. Just like your name is Sweeney or Venables, or whatever, Batson. But that just, they don't know any different. So they've been Herb Street their whole life, and it's just kind of, they just need to be who they are. And but Jake and Ty are great additions. I'm excited about their opportunity, and that whole group that came in here this summer, really fun group of guys to be around. And I always love this day, because it's the first chance for a lot of them to put that helmet on and get on the field, and just going through flex, getting a chance to take a deep breath and take it all in and realize, man, my college career is beginning. But those two guys are grinders and workers, and great additions to our program.
What are you looking to see from the guys behind Travis Etienne? I know Tavian just left, but there's some opportunity there for guys to step up. What are you looking for at the backup?
Yeah, huge opportunity. Tavian was he's a great player. So he's gone. it's a big void, and obviously it starts with Lin Jay. I mean, he's a guy that came in and really proved himself last year. You know, he didn't quite get as many opportunities as I would have liked to have got, but you know, he was the fourth guy. You know, Adam's out with the Seahawks right now, and he got hurt, but they're going to IR him, I think, and keep him for the year, which speaks to the fact that they like him, and so good for him, and obviously Travis and Feast. Those guys were all here last year, but even with those three, Lin Jay made his presence known, and he made some wow plays. In fact, he was probably the most wow guy all last camp when we were live and doing certain things. You know, I mean, just for pure, just like wow plays. Now, scope of playing a football game, you know, he was one of them guys that you'd go wow and then you'd go crap. Just hold on, because he might go that way and go that way, and you know, he was, you know, but I love he just runs with this like desperation. That's the kind of how I explain it. It's just what he looks like. Like he's just desperate to get that yard, to get a first down, to score. And we just got to kind of channel that into got to polish him a little bit, but he has come a long way. He was 190-something pounds, I think, and he was scrawny when he got here. He's put on probably 10, 15 pounds and just really muscled up. I think Lin Jay has got a chance to really have a phenomenal season. And so it starts there, and then it goes to Rencher. You know, Darian is a guy that not many people really know about outside of our local folks here, but Wrench can play. Wrench can play. He will be a very dependable, serviceable player for us. I mean, he's not Travis, he's not Lin Jay, but he's a good football player. And then we got to figure out, you know, Dukes and Ches. I have no idea. I know this, they were great players in high school and we signed them for a reason. We don't usually recruit guys in here that we don't like. So it's like my wife always says, is he a good player? I'm like, hey, we don't sign bad players. They're all good players. And so we got two dynamite freshmen there in Ches and Michael Dukes, but you know, I mean, can they line up? I don't know. We got a lot to do, but it's exciting to know that we got that group here. So we've got a good group, and we'll figure it out.
Devin,
Last one on the left now.
what's the biggest thing you want to see from Trevor this fall, and how different is the situation now to where we're 30 minutes in a press conference and you're not answering any questions about the quarterback situation?
Yeah, you know, again, I embrace whatever comes with each team, with each year. I embrace it all. So I'm not sitting here going, "Oh, thank God, I don't have to get a quarterback question." It was what it was last year. I love that too. Let's go figure it out. You know, I love all of it. And but the biggest thing I want to see, I've already seen, and that's him asserting himself as a leader of the team. You know, and because this time last year he wasn't in that situation. He was in line trying to go prove something. He had never taken a college snap. Well, now he's got a little bit of a resume, and so use that in a positive way and really assert yourself as a leader of this football team, not just the offense. Be a leader, be a guy that can cross over, and it doesn't mean you got to be a rah-rah guy or any of that stuff, but you know, hey, above and beyond in everything you do, you set the standard. Everybody's paying attention, and he's done all that. I mean, he has really asserted himself as the leader, and we all needed to see that. We saw it as the season went on last year, even as a freshman. I mean, he was poised and locked in and inspiring those seniors to go play well. So, you know, I think he's really built on that. So that was the first thing. And the second thing was I wanted him to physically be in a different place than he was last year, and he's done that. Now there's some few things that I want to see on the field as we get back to playing, and I don't have any doubt he'll do those things as well.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Let's go do some football. Let's go. Let's
this
go.
cat.
We'll bring y'all out at 5:30. Y'all free to hang here.
You know, we got somebody, because she does, I'll be like, hey, such and such. She might be like, is he really good?
Yeah.
I'm like, years of experience. Sign bad players.
Boom, then the football comes
Quit asking me
back.
that. No, it's terrible. We sign terrible players. We love to get the bad players. It's like, I'm like, oh, we got to do this. This is 25 years. All right.
Follow the only guy.
You excited? What's up?
Love that thing.